Everybody get into position, 준비. And check out the wrists, elbows, shoulders, arms forward. Make sure that your elbows are touching. Get those elbows to touch, and then switching other direction. Forward and back. Hands on the hoodie, circles. 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, 다섯. Switching. 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, 다섯. Okay, feet are a little closer together. Hands on the knees, circles. 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, 다섯. Switch. 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, 다섯. Hands up, twisting. 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, 다섯. And left leg back. 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, 다섯. Cross the arms. 하단 맞기. 돌로 중단 공격. 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, 다섯. Good. And switching feet. Same thing. Twisting. 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, 다섯. Crossing. 하나 맞기. 돌로 중단 공격. 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, 다섯. Good. Switching. Here. Okay, let's just bring our knees up. 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, 다섯. Switching feet. And 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, 다섯. Feet come together. Annesso pájaro, starting with the left leg with the knee. 하나, and switch. 둘, 셋, 넷, 다섯. 바퀴 스완으로. 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, 다섯. Hands on the hips again. 하나, 둘, 셋. Switching. 하나, 둘, 셋. Hips forward, lift the heart. Inhale. Exhale, touch the toes. Come up, inhale. Lift the heart. Exhale down. One more time, lift the heart. Exhale down. Bend the knees, roll the spine. And there we go. Good. All right, so let's get into our chumbi jaze. Left leg stepping out, palpukiki hop. Think about what's the next step. It just happens automatically. But the precision is always there, consistent. And so what we want to do is create that consistency in that habit. So I could see in the way that all of you move that you understand it here, but maybe you haven't gotten the reps yet to be able to express that in every technique of every form that you know. But that's the task at hand. That's the level that you're striving towards. So let's talk about what the process is. First, the process begins with hohop, breath. So you imagine the technique. I'm going to perform hadanmaki. I'm going to perform yang sudomaki. It doesn't matter what the technique is. Iranya porochagi. Imagination. The imagination initiates a breath. You have two options. You know what they are. Either inhale or you exhale. No other option. That inhale or exhale initiates one of two things. Either a contraction or expansion of the body. I'm sorry. A contraction or expansion of the tangent. So here, as I inhale, I can expand the tangent. And then, oh, my hand's in the way. Here. As I inhale, I can expand the tangent. I don't know if you can see that. And then as I exhale, you can't see it. The dough box is too thick. Here. As I inhale, exhale, Tanjun contracts. As I inhale, the Tanjun can contract, and as I exhale, the Tanjun could expand. Right? So whether I inhale or exhale, I could either expand or I can contract. So you see how you have all of these different components, right? Permutations, but it all comes to two choices. I inhale or I exhale, I expand or I contract. The contraction or expansion of the Tanjun then makes the rest of my body either contract or expand. In Sugi, it makes my shoulders roll forward, or it makes my shoulders roll back. The whole time, though, my spine has to be straight. So sometimes people think that this is rolling the shoulders, right? So check yourselves. Maybe you're one of these guys. I used to be one of these people. Maybe I still am. I'll be watching it all week. That's something I've been working on, right? But here, as you contract, you want to keep the spine straight. Tanjun contracts, shoulders roll forward on the preparation as you inhale. So inhale, contraction. As you contract or expand, your hoodie will turn. And it's either going to turn to the left or the hoodie is going to turn to the right. And that, my friends, is all Soo Bahk Do is. Including kicks. Apchagi. Inhale, contract the Tanjun, and the whole core contracts as the knee lifts up. Just instead of the shoulders rolling, the knee comes up. Everything contracts on the inhale. Now on the exhale, what sometimes you don't think about though, is on the exhale, now expansion happens, but the hip turns to the left. And then as I pull back and I inhale, the hip turns to the right. And you set it down. Okay, so everything about Soo Bahk Do is broken up into that process. Did you see Shimgong? Starts with imagination, goes to Negong, which is breath, and then you start going Negong, Weigong kind of together with the contraction and expansion. I would say contraction and expansion of the Tanjun is Negong. Then you move into kind of the shoulders rolling, and you could maybe say that that's more Weigong. But then the turning of the waist is Weigong. Now, what's the sole purpose of turning the waist? Anyone know the answer to that? Why do you twist the waist? Don't say to get more power. Just say something more specific. Two things. One, to drive mass, to move mass, and to increase the velocity of the technique. That's the two. So a lot of times you're going to see people move this way. What's wrong with this? Look. What's wrong with that? Watch my haranmaki. What's wrong? You see that? How it's just turning, but I'm staying in place. The whole purpose of turning the hip is to drive mass forward or to drive mass back. But on every technique, the whole purpose of the process is to get the mass to move. So never be stationary. And then the second principle is that snapping of the hip increases speed. How? How does it increase speed? That's the timing of the hip snap. So, if you want to go slow, then the hip and the arm moves together. Here. Because here it takes from time start to time finish, all that time to move my arm. Rather than waiting, when should the hip snap? What does the Founder's Book say? When the weight drops. That's the answer. The hip snaps when the weight drops. If you're taking notes, write that down. That's key. When does the hip snap? when the weight drops. So here, look, I'm going to be patient. Look, I'm not twisting yet. Then my technique doesn't begin until the weight drops. And then you have to be faster because you got less time to get from point A to point B, so your technique's faster. If you try and do the technique that fast and turning the hip soon, well, you see that's the wrong timing. Because you have to coordinate the speed of the hip twist with the motion of the hand. Okay, I hope that all makes sense. But that's about speed. That's timing. Now, all of that, when I go back to mass forward, think about the weapon discipline. The weapon discipline means that you're always using the proper weapon, pointing it at the proper target, and driving mass with the weapon into the target at what angle? There's an angle for every technique, and it's always the same. Always strike perpendicular to the target. So wherever the target is, you want to point the weapon so that it hits the target at 90 degrees for maximum penetration. Then your maximizing mass moving forward at the greatest velocity at a right angle, maximum penetration force. That's the why we start with breath, and we go through that whole process. Increase mass, increase speed, and make sure that all of that is moving perpendicular towards the target. Make sense? So let's look at, so as you start training for the rest of the 2 months, just kind of check yourself on your process and then come prepared to hear those types of principles a lot as the week progresses. You're going to hear each TAC member is going to hit those topics, but they're going to say it a little differently. But if you think about what I just explained, that's what Soo Bahk Do is. Okay? All right. So let's look at the first section of Chilsung Sado, and then you're all going to try it. First motion, I look. Wrist touch. Turn, I inhale. And then from here, I continue to expand. Until when? When do I shift and I begin to contract? When? Good. When the weight drops. So do I start now? No, you've got to time it right. Weight drops. Hoodie pulls back. You see this contraction? So some of you, I see this. And that's your arms moving. Did I ever say this was part of the process? Right? Chest expands, chest contracts. Tanjin expands, Tanjin contracts. Everybody just stand up and try that just from a standing position. Inhale, everything expands. And then, choop, choop. Exhale, tighten the abs, choop, and contract. Inhale, choop, contract. So we look, we turn, inhale. Keep expanding until the weight drops, choop, and then contract. Just try that a few times. So you make sure the hands are high, about shoulder height, and then as you step back, they drop. But the arms stay full and drop. Good. Okay, now, here's your test. When you go to the dojang, I want you to find somebody, the kids always laugh at this. I say, you got to find somebody who's bigger, stronger, and smellier than you. And that's the person you want to partner with, and I want them to front kick you. And I want them to try and hit you. And I want you to try this block by going like this and go like this and tell me what happens. If you go like this, that big guy's going to kick you. And if you go like this and you do it properly, guess what will happen? They're not going to want to play with you again because you're going to hurt their foot. Because there's so much power in that, and you're like a brick wall. Doesn't matter who kicks you. That technique, you're a brick wall. You can't get through that fortress. Okay? Because you're following the process. All right, that's technique number 1. So from the side view again, 1, when the weight drops, I contract. Now from here, my hip turns as I inhale, and I contract. The contraction's happening here in the oblique. Contract, and then as I expand, look what happens to this arm. What happened? I just expand the chest into that elbow. The other arm opens this way. Just chest opens. Here, all the technique is this. I just open my chest. Prepare. Open. Pull back. Turn. Okay, so let's try those 3 techniques now on your own, Shijak. So look at my line when I have my hands too low and I go up first. Do you see the problem there? And if somebody's really going to kick you, do you have time to go this way? It's the wrong way. Wrong way, guys. From here, just close the body. And the hands drop. Do you see that? So you need to start the hands a little higher, at least higher than where you're going to end up. Because you drop. You're just open, close the body. Many of you are still doing this. Okay, so try again, please. When you kick or do any technique, you must complete the technique. And I see too many practitioners that never actually finish, have never experienced a kick. This is not a front kick. That's not a front kick, right? You need to extend, fully express the kick. Full expression. But what that does is that takes a lot of strength, a lot of endurance, flexibility. What I love, though, is that I've seen all of you move, and there's no one here that I'm seeing that couldn't obtain that skill. So no matter what you think of yourself as an athlete, you can be more. Especially as a master of Soo Bahk Do, you can be more. So think about that. We all have ailments, right? Some of us more significant than others. I'm not saying all of us will become amazing kickers, but I'm positive that each of you can rise to a higher level of kicking than where you are today. And as a master or a future master, I want you to ponder, what will it take for me to get to the next level of mastery in my kicking? All right? So we're going to go through a floor exercise that we don't do at Kodanja. But it's what I teach my beginners as a starting point. And if you do that, I think you're going to be pretty well prepared to do the kicking on your feet at Kodanja. Okay, so you can start with that. So let's have everybody adjust your cameras so now I can see you on the floor. Now my right leg is extended, and I'd like you all to extend your left leg. Okay? So what I'm seeing on my screen is that we're all mirrored. Okay? This way. So now I'm going to take my right hand and reach behind. Notice how I've tucked my right leg underneath me. And then what I'm going to do is point my toes. You see that from a side view, so that my shin bone and the top of my foot is flat. And then I need to curl my toes up. And that's the ball of the foot. From here, I'm going to lift my leg up into this position. And then I'm going to extend my heel forward and flex my ankle. And then back to a front kick position. Keep the leg locked. That's the key to this drill, is that your leg is locked and it's always locked. You're not going to enjoy the second half of class. Okay, but the more you put into this, the more benefits you're going to feel later. So you have to go through the pain to get the benefits. There's no other route than this. Extend, back and forth. Hana, dul, set, net, dasit, yosit, ilgop, yor, ahop, yul. Switch, other leg. So again, we're pointing our toes, we're curling our toes back into a front kick position, then we're pulling our toes back and contracting our ankle, extending the heel. And we're going back and forth with that. Lift it up as high as you can in a front kick position, extend the heel, extend the ball. Hana, dur, set, net, dasit, yosit, ilgop, yor, ahop, yul. Good. And switch, other side. Extend, and now circles with the ankle. Hana, dur, set, net, das, yos, ilgop, yor, ahop, yul. Switch. Hana, dur, set, net, das, yos, ilgop, yor, ahop, yul. Switch, other leg. Extend, circles. Hana, dur, set, net, das, yos, ilgop, yor, ahop, yul. Switching. Hana, dur, set, net, das, yos, ilgop, yor, ahop, yul. Good. Now we're just going to reach with our hands behind us, both of them. And we're just going to do some leg lifts. Keep your legs straight. Hana, dur, set, net, das, yos, ilgop, yor, ahop, yor. Okay, then from here, big circles. Up, out, back. Dul, set, net, das, yos, ilgop, yor, ahop, yor, and rest. Okay, now we're going to go back the other direction. So here, straight, out, up, down. Dul, set, net, dasit, yosit, ilgop, yor, ahop, yor. And stretch it out. Excellent. Okay. So now we're going to go into the front kick position. So we're going to bend our right knee, right hand behind us. We're going to pick up our left leg, pull the toes towards our nose. Grab our knee and bring it in tight. And down. Just try and bend that knee, bring that knee into the chest and touch. Hana, dur, set, net, dasit. Now as you lift, elbow on the knee, grab the toes. The knee, elbow must be on the knee, not to the side of the knee, on top of the knee. Extend, lock the leg, back, 2, back, 3, back, 4, back, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And down. Good. Switch. We'll go the other side. Good. Just contract the knee. Hana. Dur. Set. Net. Dasit. And bring it up. Elbow on the knee, not to the side. On the knee. Grab the toes. Good contraction. Extend. Hana. Dur. Set. Net. Dasit. Yosit. Ilgop. Yodel. Ahop. Yor. And down. Good. How's that feeling? Good workout, right? That's what we want. Okay, so now we'll go into the Doryo Chagi. So the Doryo Chagi, same thing, right hand back, and we're going to open the leg this way. And then, so we're going to feel this nice stretch. And from here, I just want you to lift and turn your hip, keeping the foot on the floor. Hana, 둘, 셋, 넷, 다섯, 여섯, 일곱, 여덟. See how I'm lifting off the floor. 아홉, and pushing my hip. 열. Okay, then from here, we're going to do the round kick. 돌려, 하나, pull it back. 둘, 셋, 넷, 다섯, 여섯, 일곱, 여덟, 아홉, 열. And switch. Other side. Open the hip. And then we're just going to lift and extend. 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, 다섯, 여섯, 일곱, 여덟, 아홉. Lift. Lift. 열. Okay, then the 돌려차기 comes. And 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, 다섯, 여섯, 일곱, 여덟, 아홉, 기합, cheer. Good. And then we'll switch with our left leg out into a side kick position. See how my back hand is behind my hip, supporting my weight. Okay? Hand on the hip. And then from here, I'm going to turn my belt knot towards the right. Just turning. Keep the leg straight like a side kick. And I want you to turn your hip. 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, 다섯, 여섯, 일곱, 여덟, 아홉, 열, and hold it. Grab your pant leg. Grab it tight. Now let go and hang on. Lean towards the kick. 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, 다섯, 여섯, 일곱, 열, 아홉. Hold it. Now let go. 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, 다섯, 여섯, 일곱, 열, 아홉, 열. Switch, other side. Nice and straight. Locked. Supported by your left arm. Right hand on the hip. Lock the leg and twist. 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, 다섯, 여섯, 일곱, 여덟, 아홉. Hold. Okay, grab the pant leg and lean towards the kick. 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, 다섯, 여섯, 일곱, 열, 아홉. Hold. Let go. 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, 다섯, 여섯, 일곱, 열, 아홉, 열. Great. Cross the legs. And let's bring our left leg behind us, like so. Grab the pant leg of your bent knee, your left knee, and I want you to lean on that side. Try and touch your ribs to your leg. Lean. Now, if any of you are like, I'm not moving and it really hurts, it's probably very difficult for you to perform the side kick. And this is a very important stretch to get that. You have to have a lot of mobility in your core. And we lose that over time. So this stretch helps with that. Another thing is everybody just sit here for a while. So next time you've got the news on or you're working on your computer, consider sitting on the floor in this manner and try and just sit here for 30 minutes. And now switch. And same thing, grab onto the right side and lean. Ur, set, as, yos, yor, yor. I learned this on went to Cambodia for work last year, and I went into a lot of local homes, and this is the way they would sit. And I've been sitting on the floor all my life, so I thought I was perfectly fine. And after an hour of sitting like this, I was pretty sore, and the next day I felt it, and then I realized, oh, that's something I've been neglecting. And I saw my side kicks really improve after I started working on this. So I hope you all receive the same benefits if you keep working this drill. So again, sitting up straight, just imagine yourself just being here for a half hour. You know, what would that feel like? And just try that on your own time. And your body will tell you where inside your core are you too tight. And then you can start working on that, okay? So the next thing that's really difficult for a lot of people is we're now going to extend the left leg into this position here, right? And now some of you might be more like this, and that's okay, but that's something else to work on. You could even use your hands like this if you can't get that far, but try and get right over your legs and then slowly work on sitting down. And that might be your whole workout, is just trying to get into that position. And then if you can lean forward, grab your toes, right, and stretch. Good. And then let's switch to the other side. And here, obviously, you're wanting to put more weight and pressure on the inside of your leg, right? Because what you're going to want to do is lean more on the outside. But the inside, that's where you're wanting it, and that's going to help with your kicking performance. Good. Okay, and Irosat, obviously you would work a lot longer on those stretches, but that gives you just a couple of ideas. So everyone show. There's two things where you want to focus. One is start getting into the mindset of the processes that I talked about at the beginning of class, and try and understand those and start trying to implement that in your training and see that it's this simple process, this checklist, you could say, of things that you need to have in each technique. But the second thing is that you all should be working to be in the best physical condition of your life, because you're all representing the art and saying you're ready to move into the rank of master. And you want to make sure that you're in that physical conditioning so that you can perform well. A lot of the corrections we'll give, sometimes the candidates aren't physically capable of making that change because there's a lack of conditioning. So you don't want that to be the issue. So if you don't have a exercise routine, I would start one that includes endurance, strength, and flexibility. You want to have all three. And then you'll be able to enjoy the week. Because if you're at a certain level of physical fitness, then you're going to have a hard workout, you're going to feel sore, but you're not going to be fatigued. You're going to be excited, you're going to keep your energy high, and it won't be quite so miserable, right? You'll be able to enjoy the experience, and that's what I want for all of you, right? No one wants to be miserable for a week. And all it means is over the next 2 months is to do that. You know, go for a short run, work on some conditioning exercises. Slow kicking like we did on the floor, right? But now do it in the air. That's going to help a lot. And then the flexibility. Think about where you're not flexible and work on flexibility there. Let's go back to Chilsung Saro now. Kicking this way, right? You're here. It's a front kick. Here, switch, front kick, right? From here, I see a lot of this, right? Where the first one, yeah, mass. And then there's the second one, right? But here, mass. So from this first one, and you move to the second one, the hip turns. See that one hip motion? And do you see how the weight drove forward? 1, 2. Everybody try that. Everybody go to the first Kwan Soo. It's a reverse. And then from here, just one hip motion, and the weight drives forward. That's it. Good. Okay, paro. See, from here, you're going to see it again, your front kick. Watch this. I'm going to even prep you for it. And then you're going to give it a try. Here, look at my weight. Did you see that? Then look. There's none of that. That's going the wrong way. Here, look. Here. Then look at my body. All forward. Here. Forward more. And contract. Toes. Then look at my knee. Look at my knee. Forward. Where was my knee the whole time? This high. That high. That high. Otherwise, it's not contraction expansion. Otherwise, you're doing this. Right? That's not the process. But your body, what I'm saying is your body can't do what I'm asking it to do unless you have the proper conditioning. So, once the weight drops, that's when the exhale begins. You'll hear a lot of times we'll talk about the inhale button, or in this case, it's the exhale button. So from here, step, breath, step, breath. But you notice that look at my whole body. Forward, 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 forward. Everything stops together. So a lot of times we see this. You see, and then the arms are just empty. Yeah, you got to keep moving mass forward if the arms are still moving. So that's the timing issue.